Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
So,
All right.
I thought you were talking about asking the audience how they were, and they can't respond. That's not how that
No,
works.
that's what it is.
That's
but
what
then
it
I
is.
just answer them anyways.
Hey, how are you?
Yeah. Good. I already said it. I'm so good. So good.
as you can see,
Nice.
we have a person.
Hello.
Hi.
This is Patrick.
Yep, I'm the person.
Patrick McPherren.
Yep, my name is Patrick.
He's cool. He's good at drums. We
Yeah.
brought him here against as well.
So
I
tell
know.
me more about your love for Rudy Giuliani.
Well, I have been a long-time listener of the podcast and excited that I can finally be on the show after being asked and coerced. Asked a couple weeks in a row.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dragged here, bound and tied. Hey,
I-
guess where you're going today?
I enjoyed that part.
Get in the van.
Just opened up the hatch on my Jeep and just.
Of all the places though to have a hood ripped off your head, my house probably isn't top 10 worst.
It's a little more intimidating than most people's.
I was told we were going to the park.
It's kind of like when you tell your dog that we're going for a walk and they
Yeah.
come out with their balls chopped off.
Exactly.
Well, anyways, yeah, good to have you, Patrick. You and me,
you.
you and I, but me and me.
No, it'd
I
be you
don't know. He's an English teacher, so I always have him correct
Yeah.
me
You and I
You
have
and I
known each other for
a long time. What? We're going on 10 years,
A long
probably.
time, I know.
Say 8 years, something like that.
Yep, I still get old like Facebook. I don't know if I can see that.
Oh, like the
on-
memories and
on
stuff like that.
YouTube if we'll get
I-
demonetized.
No, it's our music. What are they gonna do? Sue us?
Maybe.
They probably would.
But yeah, I still
cares?
get memories that pop up and go through pictures and stuff and videos.
Yeah.
That it's fun to see, but it's crazy. It's been
That long.
over 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
About.
I've known you for probably 10 years, and then I joined BSA in what 20?
Oh, I don't know.
15?
I don't know dates and timelines
I think
necessarily.
I want to
but,
say it was 15.
It is weird telling people, that I spent almost all my 20s playing shows and being in a band and
Yeah.
stuff. It's like almost all my 20s is like, oh shit, kind of crazy. I'm 31 now.
And now it's
you know?
all blurred away.
Yeah.
It's like the only way that I remember half that shit is those Facebook
Mm-hmm.
memories that you were talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, we played for what, solid 5-6 years, something like that before.
Yeah, something like that. And I had been in a couple bands.
Well, and you were in BSA
prior to
before I
that,
joined too.
um,
On top of it,
yeah, we started that.
Black Star Alliance. For those of you that aren't aware of that, what
I,
BSA?
I
Yeah.
probably would have been 21
Yeah, pretty close to that.
and went all the way up until I was 29, I think.
Yeah, because I remember I saw you guys for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about this last podcast. Was at that Crazy Cafe show with open
Yeah.
for Saliva.
Yeah.
Because there was all the bands that I have ever been in all played that one show. Because I was in Half Past Dawn at that time. Black Star Alliance was there. Black Tail World was there. Section Hate was there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like I said in the last episode, my whole future was laid out before me at the fucking shit show cafe.
Well, and it's crazy not to get too sentimental, but I feel like we've been friends forever.
Yeah.
And it's like we really didn't. I didn't meet you or know you at all until we just started playing shows.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's crazy how that works. Where you get to meet people and hang out and get to know them, and it feels like you've done other things. It's
Yeah.
Like, oh well, it was just all music, really.
yeah, I think the first time that I saw Black Star Alliance was it Charlie Oakes in Ames there. I came to that show. It was in the middle of a blizzard. It was like you guys, and then there's that other band from Ames. I can't think of their name now, but like Andy Mabus played guitar for them and shit like that.
That's the thing too. Is like the crazy thing is all those bands are no longer anymore.
Yeah.
And even that place is shut down.
It's like a CVS now or something like that.
Isn't a thing, and that's depressing. And you think like House of Bricks and some of these really like
What you thought would be staples.
are closed down.
Yeah.
And are and lots of people still enjoy live music and go out. But
It's hard to come by those venues that kind of especially with COVID and all that shit, a lot of those places shut down. So I mean, there's a handful of places I could name now that we played in 8 years ago. That I mean, it just kind of sucks, but I mean, it's also very cool to have those same memories of those places too. Like whenever I go through like Cedar Rapids or something like that, and I'll go, oh hey, there's Tailgaters, cool.
Yeah.
That's still there. That's really cool. I see bands playing all the time, stuff like that. And then, like you said, like Charlie Oaks, Headliners, whatever it used to be called, that whole block like got demolished, and it's just apartments and a CVS now.
But at the same time, it's cool to see, like, even with COVID shit going on and bands breaking up or venues closing, like, people are finding new mediums and avenues to either get discovered or release their music or meet other people and do that kind of thing. I think is also neat.
Yeah, I think the online aspect of like music and all that really changed the way that like the whole music scene kind of developed in the past couple years, because there was, I mean, you would see like bands like Metallica or Megadeth, and they were doing shows on YouTube, and you would just log in. It's like, oh, cool. You know, here's them doing a playthrough from their homes and shit like that. And then, especially here in the local scene, like you would, there's bands that formed out of COVID because people were talking online and shit like that. And then you finally got together to meet up. You're like, oh, cool. Like there's, I can't remember the name of the band to save my life now, but I mean, it's a group of younger kids. They played at that, at the Rampage. Nathan Winkler and the Vampire, whatever they were called. I can't remember what they're called now. Sorry about that.
I don't remember.
But I mean, like that whole younger generation kind of spent their teenage years being stuck inside and being online, and now it's kind of cool seeing them all come out and starting to make the new generation of the bands around the scene. It's pretty cool to see.
If you aren't doing anything during quarantine, practicing the drums or playing guitar is not the worst way to spend your time.
No joke, dude. That was when I was really starting to peak and post stuff online too. I started finding an avenue.
I practiced a lot.
Yeah,
because my life really didn't change.
Mine didn't really either, just because I truck. So it was like
we just went to we just didn't do anything on the weekends.
Yeah. I saved money.
And we had to carry out alcohol. Oh yeah, saved money with that carry out alcohol.
Yeah. Well, speaking of carrying, that's what I learned is drums are a lot heavier when you don't carry them and tear them down, and then you try and do it again. It's like, oh shit, I'm getting old. This is harder to do than I
started to lose muscle mass from the lack of shows.
Muscle mass.
Yeah,
you remember I already had a pretty minimalistic setup as it.
Yeah,
was
you were,
anyway.
You were like a 3-tom guy or 2-tom.
Yeah, and you know that's like very like punk, and I was inspired by that, and I just liked kind of doing what I wanted with minimal. I mean, I had 5 or 6 cymbals or whatever, which is maybe more than some people, but a couple toms and a snare and kick drum, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah,
and it was really nice for tearing down and going to shows and setting up and all that.
You didn't have a freaking Mike Portnoy, set where it's the whole rack and
I mean
10 toms.
That's cool, and at some point I would like to have a setup like that at home that I never do anything with.
I kind of feel like you're more at home with the minimalist setup, though.
Yeah, well, and I've also thought that kind of forces me to be a little bit more creative.
That's true. Yeah, it does kind of force you to go outside of. I don't want to say the norms, but I mean it does. Like,
well, I'm kind of not kind of. I am stubborn too. Where I know how to use double kick, but I almost always refuse in any project that I do. It's like I like the single kick. I like doing and using that, and I really can't be convinced to do.
And I mean, that's kind of the way, like 7-string, for example. That's kind of how I was. I kind of got dragged kicking and screaming to get a 7-string guitar just because I was like, I don't have one more use for a lower string. I'm perfectly fine with what I'm doing now. And then I got the 7-string, and I use that almost religiously at home.
It's pretty amazing. And then it also, if we play in a lot of the drop D style tunings, and then you get the 7-string, unless you go doing like a double drop. For me, it kind of brought me back into that standard tuning world a little bit, where I'm not doing like a drop D style tuning. Yeah. And I was the same way. I was like, this is just, I was still in like that old, this is for new metal,
Yeah.
And then I got one, and it was super cool.
Yeah. And you're up to what, 3 now?
I've got 3 7-strings. Yeah. Yep. Now my first one I think was I can't remember. I think it was like an Eclipse, like a cheaper 7-string Eclipse.
Didn't you have the Schecter one that I have too?
No.
Oh, I thought you did.
No, I had an Agile.
Oh, that's
with
right.
a Floyd Rose on it.
So that brings up an interesting question that I'm curious to ask both of you guitar players. Mm-hmm. You said cheaper version. When you're looking to buy a guitar, do you look at the price first, or do you look at the model, or like, okay, this is the guitar that I want, look at the price, like, oh shit, never mind, or you look at the price first and look for like what you can afford, or is kind of whatever?
I have a feeling we're gonna have 2 very different answers.
So I was just gonna say you go first. I'll go first. So it's kind of a balancing act for me. There's certain features that I'll look at. obviously, I mean, with the very rare exception of my pink Jazzmaster having a whammy, I own one other guitar with a whammy. I'm a very straight through neck, solid bridge, no crazy gimmicks besides the Jag, which I brought last episode. That one's kind of my fun punk guitar. No, I stay very set bridge, set through neck. I'm not a big fan of bolts on necks. Again, there's exceptions in my collection, but for the most part, there's a couple brands I stick with. Obviously, Schecter is a big one of mine. That was my first big boy brand, and I've just kind of stuck through that. I've reached out now and started rocking ESPs, but the price point, if I go into, say, Guitar Center and pick up a $500, I don't know, let's just say ESP or Schecter. As long as I see this already, dude. I mean, yeah. I mean, I grew up on the Papa Roach scene. I mean, that Papa Roach, very 3 Days Grace. They were all Schecter artists. Avenged Sevenfold, another Schecter artist. I mean, yeah, that's
well, yeah.
That's
And I
what
don't
grew
think
up
there's
on.
anything wrong with having like inspiration, and
Yeah.
liking a style and going for it,
Yeah.
and saying, "Hey, I like these guys. They use this kind of guitar. That's what I want to do."
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
But no, so like, there's a few options that I always have in mind when I go to get a new one. Price point, I usually stick lower mid-range, because if you don't like the sound of it, the money that you saved buying I don't want to say cheap, but lower end model, you can use that extra money to upgrade that guitar to what you want, as long as it feels good. Like, there's just something, and I'm sure you have with drums. If you start hitting a kit, you're like, fuck, I can play really smooth on this. There's the same thing with the guitar. Like, sometimes the neck is too fat, and it's like, it's kind of cumbly.
Did you say cumbly?
I sure did.
Yeah, sometimes you get that cummy neck.
I was gonna say
usually after
crummy
you like
and
the
fumbly
guitar.
at the same time.
It's made out of blue
This one's really
cheese.
sticky for some reason.
Cumbly.
Yeah, I must have really liked this one.
No, it's just there's just, and now that I've been playing for years, there's a feeling that, you know, when you pick up a guitar, you're like, okay, this one, it feels nice. So like, there's no point in buying the $2,000 Les Pauls by Gibson, because unless that's your thing, man, go spend $2,000. Not knocking, love the guitars, but I would much rather save money buying a lower to mid range guitar and then upgrading it with that saved money. That's my
Well, and that's money that you can also put in like pedals or
yeah,
other
yep,
stuff.
exactly. And I'm not even a big pedal guy. I mean, you're talking to Marco, who has a flight strip for. we play outside, and the airplanes over top get confused on where to land.
Well, don't forget about my backup board
Yeah,
underneath the shoulder holster. That's how often I need to take it out. Yeah, I mean, for me,
Yeah, I was
it's
gonna
I kind of start with there's a few shapes that I like, Explorers and Les Paul. You know, I just like them. Growing up, I had kind of the Super Strat. I had a Strat. You know, the ESP. Whatever they call the Strat versions, the MH.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I had some of those, and I never really messed around with Deans, but I used to kind of have a little bit of brand like loyalty, I guess you'd say, with like Epiphone and ESP. I've got plenty of those, but I really don't care. I mean, as long as it's for me, the brand kind of has to have good customer service anymore. Like, I kind of got spoiled with the whole Mesa Boogie thing, because my first Mesa amp, when I had a problem, I called in, and like, I can't remember the guy's name, but it's a dude just answers the phone, Mesa Boogie, Jim, you know, and he walks you through whatever it is, and if you leave a message, they call you back like within 5 hours. It's freaking amazing. So, as far as like the big brands, I've got plenty of Epiphones. I just bought another Epiphone. I'll buy ESP LTDs. Ernie Ball Music Man, obviously. My wife got me that beautiful guitar for, I think it was the 10-year anniversary, I think. I
do love that guitar. As much as it's not my style, I still dig it.
It's definitely not my style, but I love it. It's my favorite guitar. But yeah, if you look at like everything else I own, it's just Explorers and Les Pauls all the way down the line there. And so that's kind of my niche. As far as price point, if I'm just buying another guitar because I'm like, oh, this one's cool, you know, probably somewhere between like the $700 and $1,200 range. And then I'm going to upgrade them. Every one of my guitars has locking tuners. I always put locking tuners on them.
Have we gotten to a point where locking tuners aren't really an upgrade and more of a necessity at this point?
At
least for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Willie over there, he's got self-trimming locking tuners too. So we're so lazy. Just trim it for me when we turn it. right?
I don't have time to go find.
But I mean, where I'm at right now, with if I were going to go buy a guitar tomorrow, it would just have to be something that is cool for no other reason. I'm not buying something I need. I have everything I need. But like Willie was, I want to buy this olive drab guitar and then make it look like a kind of a military worn look to it, and got those pickups on it. And I think it did a pretty good job. And I was like, yeah, I'm the first person I know to have a green Explorer. And then I forgot Colton had one for 6 months laying in the corner. That's Willie.
I love this
We
thing.
put some Aftermath pickups in Willie.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of it. I guess I could grab mine. Yeah. Dude, I cannot talk today.
Good thing we're having a podcast. Hey, I
I know
can't
you
talk
need to
today.
start doing those like vocal warm up, like tongue twisters to prepare.
The Human Torch was denied a bank loan. How now, brown cow? Colton, did you put my helmet on?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
My ADHD is feeling very strong today. So then, I'm just going to keep my headphones off because I'm getting ready to go. Because then here's mine.
Which has been dead.
Yeah,
It's been dead.
I smacked the pickup selector, and we were at a show, and it just died. So I was hitting it so hard that it actually knocked the cables loose inside the pickups, and then I said, Marco, help me. I don't know anything about guitars. So he got it fixed up finally. So
I'm like, give me 6 months. And I'll do this.
well,
light
luckily I've got
wiring.
20 other guitars. So I do love this thing, though. Again, it's a Schecter.
Look, did we mention I got a boo-boo?
Oh, yeah. He hurt
Yeah.
himself. He hurt himself fixing my guitar. Yeah. He got a little blister.
Had the wires all pushed down in, and I just reached for the soldering iron like an idiot without looking for it and just grabbed it like a pencil. And then it's like, ooh, bacon. No, that's bad. I didn't want to drop it because I was using a plastic table, so.
Yep, you guys heard it here. It's rough being a guitar player out here.
It is.
Oh, my God.
It is.
Yeah.
Look at you, consequence of your own actions.
Along those lines, though, like there have been shows that I've played where I have like smashed my finger on the rim of a drum or something, or like go to quiet a cymbal and like stab my finger into it and cut it and blood all over. And
Yeah,
it's like, oh my
especially if
God.
you have a broken cymbal, you're literally playing with like a saw.
Well, and that's what's funny too. I was thinking that too, about just drumming and percussion in general. You know, where I can test out really nice, expensive cymbals that I'm like, well, it sounds good, or whatever. Or I can, use broken cymbals. I was like, oh, well, this isn't what I was going for, but I like the way that it sounds. That I could probably use it in some capacity. You know.
Oh, true.
Really, the only thing that I don't know. I just can't make the switch to electronic kits. I've tried it, and I don't know what it is about it. Some people love them, and that's great. And to me, it just feels more like practice pads.
You're playing
and
Rock Band.
Yeah, kind of. It just like, I don't know. I like I was even gonna say the real thing. That's
Because I remember
subjective, of course. But
I remember you came over to my place one time and I hooked up my E-kit and you lasted a roughly 15 seconds. You're like, no, I hate this.
Yeah, it's just like the feel of it and like the bounce of the heads. It just, to me, doesn't feel like what I'm used to playing. But again, I also think that's like, I want to practice how I would perform on a real kit if I were to play, and not that lots of people practice that way and play on different types of kits and stuff. It's just, my own personal preference.
Sure.
Well, it'd be like a necessity convenience thing, I suppose. If you wanted to have like a super clean band practice, but you didn't have the studios, like if I were to do that down here and I wanted to record every practice, absolutely, an electronic kit would be just, But using it just when you have the other option available probably is pretty.
I mean, that's like bringing a traveler guitar to a show.
I guess,
well, I also like the idea, you have modifications and stuff that you can add on to an electronic kit that you can change your sound that you can't do, which is the regular acoustic kit too, So I think it depends on what you're going
You don't
for,
want the option to make your snare a barking dog?
But I don't know. It's just interesting to
Just
me.
Owen Wilson. Wow.
But it's cool.
Wow.
No.
Yeah, I get it. Anyways.
Because then you've had the same kit
Yeah.
the whole time I've known you.
Yeah, I've had a couple different ones over the years, and I've purchased upgrades and different drums and tried different drum heads and like size of drums and all that. And have had relative success with almost all the ones that I've bought.
So like we can switch out pickups, and that's a whole, like, it makes the guitar a brand new guitar. What's something drum wise that's kind of equal to that you could change something about the drums and it becomes damn near a whole new kit? You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, there's a lot that you could do. I mean, different cymbals, of course, is an obvious one, but even just like drum heads.
That really makes that big of a difference.
Oh yeah. And like the type of snare drum, or like the metal on it, or again, how like big the drum is, or how little, or how like tall. Or like the tiny.
So what would you recommend for a Saint Anger snare?
Biggest like trash can you can find. But that's the thing, like that's over the years that I like knew the kind of sound that I was going for, and got really like, this is what I want, and I was almost doing the same thing like every time.
And it's kind of nice to narrow that down, especially when you're young too, because then you aren't spending 5-10 years sometimes to find your sound. It's like, I want this, that's what I'm doing.
But like with kick drum that I had, I noticed an immediate difference when I changed the inside head from the old one that I had to one that had like I don't know what you would call it, like almost like packing foam, styrofoam around the rim. So it was just like, it was a lot like easier to dampen, and it sounded nice when it was hooked up.
You didn't have to shove a pillow and all that shit.
Well, exactly. Yeah, it wasn't as ringy and annoying, and I noticed an immediate difference on that.
Huh? I've never even heard of that. I didn't know that was a thing. Mm-hmm. So then, the other thing with kick drums is like that front head. I can't remember. Does your front head? Do you have that sound hole or?
Yeah, I have a sound hole.
Do you? Okay.
But of course, another thing, like you were talking about guitar picks earlier. Same with drumsticks. You know, there are a whole lot of different types of drumsticks, and I've tried using the like. I mean, taken out of context, this whole conversation could sound kind of bad, I've taken the like really big, long ones, the really heavy ones. That are hard, I'm
editing that totally.
That are hard to hold. But if you play a whole show like that, then it's like my fucking hands and fingers hurt, And I always like the like little bit smaller,
you
skinnier
use
sticks
2Bs,
to go
correct?
Faster, yeah.
2Bs, yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's the only drumsticks I use. Because I remember you gave me a set.
But then of course I would like shred through them and snap them.
Because I mean they are skinny.
Yeah, pretty fast. But I was also really like heavy hitter. Playing fast and loud.
Yeah.
I mean, I could do dynamics.
You're like if Travis Barker gained about 20 pounds in just arm muscle. You are.
I was like, really
you
like
pounded those
physical.
Drummer, You're very. I guess animated.
Yeah.
You're very much a showman behind the drums.
And,
I think
this isn't a slight to anybody who's different, of course, but I've seen my fair share of bands. Their drummers just kind of hanging out back there, and they're like the sideshow. And not that I think like, oh, everyone needs to look at me, but it's like I'm having fun. And, I want to be recognized too.
And especially with
I'm not a lead guitar player.
Especially going back to BSA. I mean, that was a thing with BSA. Like everyone knew that we were the ones that were like, you were damn near falling out the throne drumming. Like me and Devin were on like just back and forth on the stage the whole time. And I always kind of carried that with me. I just don't sit still. Well, there's a reason we have an ADHD podcast. I cannot just stand there on stage. I'm running back and forth, and you were always just
my philosophy is always
freaking Kraken coming up from the stage,
and not even rock or punk music, any of that, like any type of music, or if you're just a solo artist or whatever, it's as much about the performance, like what you're watching, as it is just listening to it, And again, not that there's anything wrong if you're feeling like you just want to stand there and do your thing. That's great too. But I like watching other stuff going on too, whether it's the people or the like pyrotechnics or lights, or it makes it exciting to watch.
You have to have the personality to match what the rest of the show is,
or what it sounds like.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a good way to put it.
And again, I there's nothing wrong with like being in one place and open and vulnerable too.
Yeah, for sure. And there's something to say about those drummers who kind of stay in the pocket too, because again, going back to Mike Portnoy, he's not a super flashy, flaily all over the place, but he's very technical, so that kind of makes up for it too.
Well, and depending on how you're playing or what you're playing, there's no room to be doing it.
Yeah, you don't want to be doing jazz ensembles.
There are some drummers that are so tight, but they're playing so fast that it's like all your focus is into doing that.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
You can't do anything else. Like you can't really even headbang because you're doing.
You're
you're
so
locked
focused.
in,
Yeah.
Yep.
That's crazy. I think I had pulled up a video. Are you guys all
What we got?
in this show right here?
Yes. Oh, that's at Jimmy's.
Let's watch it.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to mess with the volume a little bit
this
here.
is a throwback.
Okay, we'll get there.
I'm not getting anything in my headphones.
Oh, I know. No, we're good. Hang on.
I don't have anything in my headphones. Oh my god, these are a lot tighter than I remember.
That's what she said.
Shut the fuck.
I think I just got the. Hey, I could just do it here. That's crazy.
That works. God, look how young we are.
What?
Oh, I was just talking to myself.
Well, I know, and I was thinking that too. Some of the shows and time kind of blur together, and not necessarily because of like drinking or anything else. Just shows blended together, and it's like, man, where did the time go? That's crazy. It doesn't feel like it's been that long ago.
This was 20. Does that say 15?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
I still haven't clapped back in, so if you want to keep testing that. I clapped us out, so we're trying to get the audio working on it. June 2. Oh, shit, this is almost 8 years ago. Holy shit. Dude, this was such a fun night.
All right, you can clap us back in.
Okay. Cool. Got it figured out? Yeah. All right, so this is at Jimmy's Juke Joint up in Wisconsin. Hey, Jimmy.
Hi, Jimmy. Father Jimmy.
Yep.
Some good old BSA. Oh, my God. Is that you with short hair over there?
Yep, that was back when I was in the Army still.
Oh, God. Okay.
I think that's when I still had when I was using my Schecter. My C1.
Yeah, you use that guitar.
I use that a lot.
Yeah.
Yep, there she is.
Dude, you look like Jim Brewer.
Holy shit. God. Oh, smoke machine, yep.
This is so cool.
Oh, miss a note, miss a squeal.
Nobody noticed.
I did. Oh, there it is.
I think this was the first time we were in Wisconsin too.
Yep, this is the first one. There's my Weeping Demon pedal. I love that guitar so much.
Who's playing through the Marshall? Is that you?
No, that was off to the side. That was the next band up.
Oh, I was going to say, that's a weird cab placement.
Yeah.
Drummer wants to hear me.
Yeah, look at that fucking slash pose. Like a snake with a broken back.
Yeah, it looks like Slash when his kidney got punched.
I was always pretty easygoing about a lot of things, but I was a stickler for sound and being able to hear, because otherwise, it's so easy to get lost back there. And
especially
I need
there.
to hear what everyone else is doing. Otherwise, I'm just back there hitting the same
That's
shit.
true.
And where am I?
I remember Jimmy measured us on a decibel meter, and we hit like 116 or something like that.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, this is a fucking throwback, dude.
Yeah, we'll finish this. I like this. You do look like Jim Brewer, though.
I've got those natural, like, stoner eyes.
Yeah.
God, that's cool.
God, that was
I forgot about that video. Jesus.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Dude, that was such a fun night, too. That was the first time. Yeah, that was the first time we played in Wisconsin with Father Jimmy.
How many times did you guys play?
Twice. Because we went up the next year after.
As BSA or just you in total?
We played in Wisconsin.
3. Was it? Oh, no, we played Juke Joint twice, and then we played that.
We were up there
3 times.
3 or 4 times.
Well, then we played that festival on our comeback show.
Yeah. So
4 times.
4 times.
Yep.
Yeah, because the one was at one of the bars up there.
Yeah,
where like
Fritz's hideout or some shit.
Dude,
Dude, we
like
owned the bar that night.
bachelorette party came in. You remember that?
Yes.
Like a bus came in and dropped a whole bunch of people off.
And there was like 3 people and us playing.
Oh no!
And then they were like
that
pouring
whole night
alcohol
needs a fucking
down our
bite.
throat.
Yeah,
because they were like
they let us like run on top of the
Drink for
bar
free,
and just
yeah.
like pouring drinks down people's throats and shit. And then they gave us that whole bottle of like blackberry whiskey or something like that. So then we were out back of the bar drinking, and they had an RV set up. Like they had kind of a back area that was fenced in, and then there was an RV back there. Like, hey, you guys can stay in there tonight. So we got blitzed, and then so Devin woke up with a huge gash on his arm. I don't know how. I found a stray dog, and it stayed with us overnight.
Or you thought it was a dog.
Yeah.
You know, who knows what it
Sounds like the
actually was.
worst D&D game ever.
And then, oh God, what? Yeah, I can't remember what the name of that place
Tried to
was.
take a short
It was so
rest.
funny though. It was just chaos. Jimmy came in and sack tapped Devin while he was sleeping. I have that on my phone somewhere too. Yeah, it was. That was a. Dude, Jimmy is one of my favorite promoters I think we've ever ran into. Because you've met Jimmy, obviously. Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys played up there twice.
Once,
yeah.
Yeah,
Dude,
that's a good time.
he's a party animal.
Brought the old mystery
I
bottle.
was just gonna ask, did he have the mystery bottle?
Wait, you weren't with either one of us when we went up there. You
No.
weren't with the Hate or us.
No.
Okay. Yeah. Now the mystery bottle. He said he buried it back there like in a ritual.
So it's just gone
He
forever.
said it's the mystery bottle is buried out back in
So
the land.
there was this mystery bottle. It was just a giant.
It was a Seagram 7 bottle,
Yeah.
and it was my mother, one of her friends, gave it to her and said, "Here's some whiskey I made," and then I kept it down here for like 4 years because I didn't know, I just never tried it, and then
Did he do the whole towel thing with it too?
I don't know what's a towel
So
thing.
they wrapped it up in a towel, and we were in the middle of playing, and there was 2 people. So you wrap it in the middle of a towel, a person grabs each end, and you sit there and shake it back and forth. Remember that? They were like,
oh,
who
yeah,
wants to go
yeah,
shit? And
yeah.
they, like you had like a tug of war with it.
Well, I thought you
to
were
shake
going
it
a
up and
different
shit.
direction when you were talking about alcohol and like, putting the fabric in there and like lighting it up and throwing it. Or something.
Yeah. we made a bomb.
No. They wrapped it up in that big yellow towel.
Yeah,
And they're, like in the pit, like
that's how they
shaking
like
it.
mixed it. I remember that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we didn't have any of that.
Yep.
We didn't have any of that.
Because then we brought the second time coming up, we stopped at a Home Depot and made a beer bong.
Mm-hmm.
And we're using that like in the middle of the show. Like you'd be sitting there drumming to like Mary or something like that. Like, beer bongs for the crowd, dude.
No, we had the mystery bottle, and it was being passed around throughout the show, and everybody I would watch people drink it in the crowd, and they're like,
Yep. God.
and then I just remember throughout the night the door, because I rented a Sprinter van that we took, and it just kept opening up. The only way I could describe it was like a Vietnam medevac. Someone would open the door, throw somebody's body in there, and then they would shut the door. And then there's like a puddle of puke. Chuck
Yep.
slept in somebody's puke.
That sounds about like Wisconsin.
Yeah. Someone lost a wallet.
Jesus.
Got up the next day. Everyone had a big fight, and then we left.
Yeah, I know that part.
It was so cool. I love it. I loved every minute of that. The whole thing.
7 hours of driving.
I didn't mind it.
I didn't mind it either.
Yeah.
Once you get the river, it's actually beautiful up there.
I've got the weird. I should have been a trucker for a living because that one time we just drove to. We got off work Thursday. Like, let's drive to Louisiana. Okay, cool.
Yeah. I love it.
I'm like the opposite now, where I miss drumming, I miss playing in a band, but tearing drums down, moving them, driving, unloading, setting up, it's a lot.
It's taxing, especially for you guys.
And just the way driving is now, I don't know. I don't know. If I found the right thing I was looking for, I would consider doing it again, but I don't know. Otherwise, the thought of driving, for this weekend we're going 5, 6, 7 hours out of town, and then have to be back Sunday night for work, and then do it again next weekend.
Also,
it's worth it, and I'm passionate about it. But
here's $100 and some experience vouchers.
I mean, it was I think for a lot of us, it was never about the money, obviously.
Yeah, no.
But I know what you mean. It definitely feels not as, I don't know. That's a deterring factor for sure, where it's a lot of work and a lot of time to not get the money.
You and I have talked off stream about this, where it's just like, I think we're both kind of content.
Stream? I thought this was a podcast.
Oh shit! Hey, my inner content creator's coming out in me. No, where it's just like, and I don't know if you feel the same way, but I'm just kind of content. That whole national touring band thing, it'd be cool, but that's not what I'm aiming for the same way that I was in my 20s, where it's like, I want to get big and famous.
I'd still do it.
I would still do it, but I mean, I'm not actively pursuing it, I think is the better way to put it. I just want to put out good stuff, and then if it picks up, hell yeah. That sounds cool. But I'm not going to spend my days spamming on social media, like going to Fox News comments and be like, hey, check out my band. Like, I'm not like some OnlyFans
I think
girl on Twitter where
I think we're getting past that point now where people are, that's becoming kind of unacceptable.
Yeah.
I keep getting tagged by some local band every time they play a show, and I finally I unfollowed them. I'm like, I'm not doing that.
Well, I think, if people are interested, they'll be there.
Yeah, exactly.
And you don't, I get advertising and wanting to put yourself out there, and you can do that, but there's a limit to that for sure, where otherwise people get annoyed and like, well, no thanks.
You wake up and you guys says, you've been tagged with 47 other people, and you're just like, fuck.
But yeah, I don't know. The idea to me, if that were to happen, just being away from home for extended periods of time would be tough. So I don't know. Maybe I would write the music and then have like an AI or something fill in for me and go on tour and have like a machine do all my parts and just have like my picture up
laptops.
There. Yeah, and then
like an in memoriam picture.
Just have a couple of expressions of me changing and you know. Like, okay.
Yeah, like I want, if we ever got big, I want it to be an organic thing, not I paid some Indian company to give me 30,000 followers on YouTube. Like,
well, and that's, how, not that I'm an expert on the music industry, but, mediums like TikTok are so interesting to me, where all it takes is one little hook to get popular.
It's true.
And it becomes a sound. And some of these musicians, artists just blow up, and that maybe wasn't even their intention. They like did something for fun, and suddenly it's like caught on and it's viral and it's everywhere, and it's like that 10-second sound clip, and now they're huge.
But
it's crazy.
Feel what sucks is that if you get sucked into that TikTok virality or whatever you want to call it, you kind of get locked into that sound then, because then if you do anything mildly different, you're going to lose that fan base.
It's funny to say this on a podcast titled ADHD, but it to me, it really is so funny how
fucking like, TikTok mind.
How long are your average TikTok videos? And now you have YouTube Shorts, and now you have like Facebook Stories and Instagram Stories and stuff. And it's
if you have a commentary TikTok, you can't watch it, or people won't watch it unless there's fucking Fortnite game playing
I'm
underneath
gonna
of
have
it.
a 10-second clip, and this is all the content you're gonna get from me. And either you like it or you don't within that 10 seconds, and you're gonna make a judgment call based on that instead of like listening listening through 3-4 minutes or clicking through different songs. It's like either you get it right now and you like it, or you don't. And move on to the next video. Well, I guess you would call them videos, but you know what I mean. It's just a very short clip of like 10 seconds, and that's what I feel like a lot of these platforms have now.
I think and that kind of changes how you have to write music too. You can't just write the same formula and go, okay, the 2-minute intros. You used to be able to get away with that because if someone bought your stuff, they were going to at least listen to the song once, because it was way more effort to pop the tape out, take the record off, eject the CD, open up that big binder where you're looking for the CDs, or if it's the radio, you got to find another station, or you can just go through this Def Leppard song one more time, and it affects it now, because you instantly you're going to turn something on and I don't like this next song. I'm not even going to ever look at this band again because this first song for 10 seconds sucked. Yeah. That's why if I tell someone who wants, they're like, hey, have you heard of X band? Maybe they're really popular, because I'm stuck in this little bubble on my Spotify too. I listen to some stuff it recommends to me what I know. And if someone goes, I want you to listen to this, I go, give me the song. Give me the song that when you hear it every time, I always refer to it, give me their Master of Puppets to you. What's the best song? And if I can connect with that, I'll connect with, you more as a person. I'll be like, oh, that's really cool. Okay, I like that. And, I can feel it. And then I'll favorite them. But if you give me and go, hey, listen to this new band, I might pull up their Saint Anger and be like, yeah, fuck that. I'm never listening to it again. True.
Well,
go ahead.
I'm guilty of this too, where, I'll hear a song somewhere and be like, oh, I've never heard this band before, I've never heard this song, and then that 10-second chorus comes on, or that bridge comes on that you hear in the TikTok video. It's like, oh, now I know what this is. Yep. And it's just so funny. It's like I would have had no idea that this was who it is.
I think one of the best weird recommendations I ever got that I absolutely loved was this band. I think it's pronounced Tripalium. Have I ever played them for you? They got like that weird boogie metal feel with like the trumpets.
No, it's like ska metal.
It's way cooler than ska. Let me see if I can find it real quick. You'll like the drums.
There's nothing cooler than ska. I love ska music. I grew up on that, like skate park and shit. Fuck yeah, throw some Goldfinger, Real Big Fish.
But it does make me wonder, how many bands and artists are out there that are totally undiscovered and under the radar that are doing some really good stuff, but aren't interested in social media, or aren't interested in
having the ease of accessibility. Will also drown out anyone trying to get into it, because you could throw out a really good song, but the TikTok flavor of the week song, you just happen to release that song on the same time that one did.
Oh, I see.
Now you're gonna get buried forever because you didn't catch that train of the 12-hour gap that TikTok seems to ride.
Check this out. You've heard this, I'm sure, but
is that October Rage?
Like, I don't know what to make of this, but it's really groovy once you get into it. It's got so much stuff that doesn't go together that it's awesome.
Oh, I love shit like that. Oh, let's go.
That's crazy. Totally did not expect that.
And their whole album's like this, and they got some straight up bangers too, but a lot of their stuff's got this is like their thing.
Ooh.
They're not going to give me my 3 cents. They're going to demonetize me for 3 cents.
Yeah.
We'll get past the first chorus. Jesus.
Did you brush your teeth today? Yeah. I like that shit. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, they came up on like a random recommendation. Other than that, I usually just end up getting kind of some garbage recommendations,
I follow the Nick Nocturnal playlist on Spotify. So
I
he
don't know
he
why I haven't
updates
thought
it
of
every
that.
Friday.
I don't know why I haven't thought of just doing that.
Yeah.
I don't follow anybody's playlist.
Oh yeah. Look up Nick Nocturnal's.
I'm gonna do it right now.
Yeah,
Otherwise, I'll
it's
never
really
do it.
good.
Yeah, and I mean, I
was
think
gonna go-
that's the
yeah.
cool thing about Spotify and stuff like that is that you can create your own playlists or you get algorithms that are, like tailored to what you're
Yeah.
potentially interested in and do get recommended new stuff to check out.
And speaking of like the whole, ADHD, fucking TikTok brain rot, I think that's why you're starting to see bands come out with singles or EP. You don't see, unless you're Metallica with 72 seasons or something like that. You don't. Well, they still even release singles. That's I think.
Is that it right there?
I think Falling in Reverse is a really good example of this. They haven't put out a new album for years, but they release single after single after single. It's a 4 to 6 month gap between singles, and just by the time that single starts to kind of fade out from the boards, boom, another one's up. It's like you got Popular Monster that release, and then they're like, hey, let's do what was the next one? The opera version of I'm Not a Vampire. It's like, okay, cool. Now you just got all the throwback fans back in. And then another 6 months, another 6 months. And then you do another, the opera version of, I can't remember which one it was. But, I mean, that's kind of the model you're seeing now, is all these bands are doing release a single, release a single, release a single. Here's an EP that has 3 of the 4 songs that we've already released on it.
Yeah.
Here's another single. Here's another single. Here's a full-length EP where you've already released 7 of 12 songs, say.
Yeah.
And the only reason you didn't release the other 5 is because those are kind of filler songs.
Yeah. Trapped under ice and escape.
Yes, exactly. And that's starting to be more and more and more prevalent in the scene, which I get it, roll with the waves, but it kind of ruins the mystery of, this band released, we released 3 in, what was that, 2019, something like that?
2020.
2020?
I just want to say I don't think roll with the waves is a real expression. I don't think anybody says that.
I mixed 2 in there.
Yeah. He's got some Reiki-isms.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's just...
yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, it's just... It kind of kills the
whatever
mystery.
floats your scrot. That one's going to get used.
That reminds me of the under barrel attachment teabag thing I showed you. The tack sack. Oh, where was I going with this? God damn it. Oh, God, now I'm crying.
Sorry. I think I
Okay, albums versus singles.
Where
into
it kind of
EPs.
kills the mystery of, what's their next album going to sound like? It's like, well, in between albums, you already showed what the next album's going to sound like instead of taking a 3-year break, playing shows and shit like that. But instead of going, hey, here's Black Album, and then here's Justice. They didn't do half of Justice and release it.
Wouldn't they sit down and record those 3, 4, 5 songs ahead of time anyways, and really it's just marketing that's releasing them? I don't think they're recording them and doing them one of them. I think the process of going in
Is
and
write an album and a half?
Well, I think you go in with the idea because every album, whether you try or not, it's going to have a concept and it's going to have a feel to it.
Yeah.
And I think you go in, I think you still sit down and you express that and get the whole thing out and you record it. And maybe you're not all the way done when you start releasing the singles, but I think the idea of those where they do the single and then they drop another single a few months later and then the EP and then maybe it's an album or whatever format they use, the input, the workload is all still the same. I have to imagine because it's still the most efficient way to do it. You wouldn't lose your efficiency and completely scrap the process for the output of what you see. And I think it's just how they market it after that. They go, okay, we can. I mean, imagine that. Now you used to have to release an album. Now you take those 12 songs, 8 songs, whatever it is, and you can stretch that out over a whole year. Yeah. And keep generating that excitement rather than dropping it. It's almost an advantage. But I don't think they're dropping a single and then touring on that single. I think
no. So what I'm saying is that people don't have the patience anymore because of short time span media and shit like that is kind of taking away attention spans to where people get angry if a band doesn't release something new at least once or twice a year. People are like, oh, where are you guys at? Where are you guys at? It's like,
Well, and I think there's a difference too. You have some fans that love almost anything that an artist or band puts out, and then there are some fans where it's like, I only want to hear these 2 songs. I don't really care about anything else, and you're still fans of it too.
Yeah.
But it's like when I go to watch these guys, I only want to hear this song or these 2 songs.
Yeah. I mean,
and I don't know any of the other stuff. That's fine. Or you get the people that it's like, I know the really like obscure songs that no one knows.
yeah, I
and
know what
hopefully they
brand
play
underwear
it
Lars
or
Ulrich
whatever,
wears on stage. So yeah.
Yeah, it's like I'm not going to go watch Shinedown if they don't play 45. And I'm not. Yeah.
The way I see it as an artist is that ticket price is still the same whether they know every song or they know 2 of them. That's the way I see it. But that's all. That's coming from an artist's perspective too.
Yeah.
Um.
You need to be a fan of
there's my
whatever you
rant.
want. Yeah. No, I kind of like. I mean, I don't like the idea because I like the idea of having my brain wants the whole idea to come out at once in like an album format. I think that's pretty natural. You want to express the idea all at once, and you want everybody to see it. It'd be like if on Christmas you just waited and gave one gift every 25. That's Hanukkah. No, I don't know how that holiday works. I'm close.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
close.
there.
Not
You're there.
25 days. It'll get.
It's like Good Friday and Happy Saturday.
Wait, you guys were getting gifts? No, I agree though. Like if you have a concept, I mean, it seems like that's the way to do it is get everything written out and then piece
just
it together the
boom,
way
here
you
you go.
want it to sound and look rather than like, oh, I have one idea for one song and then it doesn't really make sense with other stuff if you were to put it on an album.
It's all a matter of how you present it, I suppose.
I think it's just the kind of, I don't want to call it shock factor, but like the surprise to fans is dropping an album, a week later announcing a tour, and then you're just riding that wave for a couple of years instead of trying to rebuild that wave every 6 months. It's kind of, I don't know. I'm kind of old school in that thought, and I'm starting to fucking get old and shit like that, where I don't hate, I'm not going to argue about one of my favorite bands releasing a new song every 6 months, but it also kind of kills, having, say, a vinyl of that album. It's just like, now I'm just going to go out and buy singles, which I mean was the way it came out back
The
then.
rosy tinted glasses of waiting in line for
Yeah,
the album.
yeah, I definitely have a nostalgia factor with it, but it's, I mean, times are changing, and as musicians, we have to kind of evolve with that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't like it, and you'll drive me kicking and screaming, but
like going to midnight releases of movies
or video games and
stuff. I don't know. Do they even do midnight releases for video
waiting
games?
in line
anymore?
at Best Buy
consoles do.
And now you can just get the digital
Yeah,
copy.
I remember
wait till they
staying
open
outside of a
up.
Best Buy for 10 hours waiting for the PS4s to drop.
Nintendo Wii. I did that for Nintendo Wii.
Yeah. Oh man, dude,
I think you were
shit
still in
was
elementary
so
school.
good.
Just to be clear.
Yeah.
I was 10, roughly.
And I also felt like the pre-orders maybe meant a little bit more when
Yeah.
you were going.
Now, here's an alternate skin for Donkey Kong.
Remember back when you used to buy a game and it was complete?
Well,
Dude, have you seen that drama with Star Wars, the new one yet? The new Jedi one?
I slightly glazed over among all the other
It is.
Star Wars bitch groups,
So,
but I heard it's pretty bad.
I really liked the last Jedi Order, whatever the fuck it was called, game.
Fallen Order.
Fallen Order. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Great game. The sequel just came out yesterday, 2 days ago, something like that. And there's guys, I don't know if you watch Some Ordinary Gamers, Mudahar. He has a 4090 Ti or 4090, one of the two. Like, top of the line spec PC.
Mm-hmm.
He can barely get 60 frames out of it on low settings.
Yeah, I heard they did a really shit job optimizing it.
And so they released a statement basically saying, oh, well, the consoles aren't having any problems because they're all made the same. It's you PC players that are the problem because all of your specs are different. So you can't expect us to match the game to work for everyone's specs. We made this for like the low tier gamers too. So the people with the high end PCs are over processing. Like, made this whole spiel about how it's the PC gamers' fault for not having the same specs as everyone else. And they are getting shit on.
It's really interesting to me that you get the like AAA titles that are released with so many bugs. And circling back to what Marco said about, games being released when they were, completed. I mean, they had their fair share of bugs and stuff, but that's a very interesting.
That's also where the charm comes in too.
I don't know. It's interesting how you get a game and it's like, I don't know, it definitely feels like, well, you had the DLC mostly done, you could have just waited to release it, but then people get upset about not getting it released on time, or
I was just gonna say
whatever.
that a lot of that comes down from like the higher ups too that are pushing for a time. So a game comes out broken, and now with internet connectivity, it's just like, oh, we'll just patch it.
I think there's a portion of that, and I think how it's become normalized that you would release, with early access and crowdfunding titles,
or a day one patch too. I mean, that's normal nowadays.
Well, and I think all the companies nowadays are going to be pushing out. They call it an MVP, a minimum viable product. They put that out there with the intention that we went through the beta testing, we've done all this. Now let's let the players break it on release. And day one patch. The servers always crash on a lot of these games on day one, and they find something that's broken, and it takes almost another 6 months to a year, sometimes never, to pull it back out of that.
The Battlefield.
Yeah, like Battlefield 2042 just completely turned me off with it. How they just never got their shit straight with it.
Yep.
That's the thing that gets me, is if they never come out with a patch or never fix issues. But I think at the same time, there are some people that are looking for reasons to not want to buy the game, and it's like, oh, there are issues that, it was just horrible to begin with. Well, it's like, give it some time and hopefully they fix it, and it actually is still really good.
There's games like Battlefield 2042 where they just added the scoreboard and made that a big deal. It's like, dude, we were doing that in like Call of Duty.
Please.
Yeah.
No,
but then you have games like No Man's Sky that have completely turned around. I don't know if you ever played that.
One of my buddies says I need to get it, and they turned it around.
Fantastic.
So let's backing up a second. 2042 didn't have the scoreboard in there on purpose. That wasn't that they didn't want to add it. That was another thing that came out. They didn't want the people who did poorly to have to be confirmed that they were doing poorly on the scoreboard.
Off.
Well,
or they were trying to. Maybe you can word that a little better.
No, I agree. Well, I was just gonna add on a slightly different scenario. Colton and I are obviously huge Smash Brothers fans. When online came out for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, you were able to taunt your opponent online, which is the characters like animations that are kind of funny, but it's seen as like offensive or disrespectful.
It's like teabagging.
Yeah, where it's like, oh, I just kicked your ass and two-stocked you or 3-stocked you, and then you have and then it's like, well, that's not nice. And it's like, I don't know if that should be taken out or not, but I don't know. That is an interesting.
They took out taunting, so now you get people who just squat and teabag.
If you can't see the score, you're gonna lose people that want to know the score.
Like, can you imagine playing Smash without the stock counter on the bottom?
At the same time, maybe I would have some more fun with some games. It's like, who cares? You're not winning. I'm not winning. Whatever. I don't know, but.
Watch, they're going to take out voice comms out of squad pretty soon.
God.
Area chat.
Oh, my God.
Oh, the proximity chat. Yeah.
I love prox chat so much.
Dude, have you ever played squad?
I never have.
You definitely should get it just to play with Colton and I.
Dude, oh, God.
It is so much fun.
It's so fun. It's a giant...
50 versus 50.
Yeah. So it's like the fucking Fortnite. Fucking.
Yep. Well, it's what Battlefield 2 should have become.
Should have been.
Basically, if you
Dude,
go back
Battlefield 2, Bad Company. That was the game that got me into Battlefield. I love that game. That was a good one, but that's because they made it more arcadey and fun, and the story was actually great too. It's a great game. Yeah. Shit, I just had some too.
But yeah, I don't know. I think there's also something to be said for waiting to buy some games, and not necessarily just. I mean, I get if there's like a lot of hype surrounding a game, you want to buy it immediately and check it out and play it too. But talking about Star Wars, I had never played Star Wars Fallen Order at all until about 2 weeks ago when it went on sale for like $4. Yeah. And that was the very first time I played it. And, even if there were some issues, which I didn't encounter, but it's like, fuck it, I paid nothing for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and when it comes to game issues, that's kind of interesting too, because you and I are both speedrunners. So going back to when it was released, that was it. And that's why I said that kind of gives it that charm, because then guys like you and me,
guys like you and me.
Yeah, me.
Right? Because if you take out you, it'd just be me. You wouldn't say guys like
like me. Yeah. You and me. That's kind of our thing. Like take it. Super Mario 64. It has bugs. Cool. We get to exploit those instead of it getting fixed. Like, can you imagine not doing BLJs in Super Mario? Like,
I also think when it comes to like PC gaming, it's more complicated, obviously, because you're going to get the people that have spent a lot of money on upgrading and have really nice, setups. and are expecting to get, oh, I'm paying $70 for this, AAA game, and then having performance issues. That's frustrating too.
Yeah, but when you're a AAA game, you should be able to.
Oh well, I agree.
That's like Rockstar getting mad at people because.
Well, no, I mean, I'm agreeing with you.
Oh, gotcha. I thought
if you're spending that money, you are already expecting it to not have issues. Yeah,
exactly.
But also, like, there are variables in there, like online and
for sure. And online, I can understand. But it's getting mad at the consumer for their personal copies not working. It's like, that's kind of next level, too.
I think that is, of course, even like with COVID and stuff, the online gaming is so popular with multiplayer, and that really is like the replayability for a lot of games and a lot of marketing where, if it's a single player campaign, that's great, but after you could dump several 100,000 hours into lots of games that are just single player, but, if they're multiplayer, that's a big thing for a lot of people.
Yeah. Because then
the competitive side of me that's just smash people.
Yeah. But then you get games like Xenoblade. That's thousands of hours you could dump into that.
Too bad you don't get your scoreboard anymore.
Wait, are we gonna start with that?
Yeah. Hi.
Okay. We'll just clap back in again.
Nope, that's it.
Okay. So speaking of news.
Yeah. So there's a
segue.
I don't know what the sound.
Now to Colton for the weather.
Well, in a roundabout way, downloadable content is adding on to a game, like adding on to a band is like an addition, like DLC
or a revival of
We've got
series.
a DLC band.
Yeah, exactly.
The sequel.
DLC person.
So there was a band from the heyday that BSA always played with called Ashes Armada. Great group of guys. They had a guitarist named Ryan Craig. Great dude. Love the guy. I believe he's in Quakescape now. But he decided to part ways, and it was right after our breakup with Black Star Alliance. The guys from Ashes Armada called me over. And this was probably, like I said, 2018 roughly. So, I said, fuck it, yeah, let's play some music. I always got excited when we played shows with them. And, joined them, played a few shows, and then, I don't want to say it broke up, but everything just kind of fizzled. Everyone started getting married, having kids, that kind of thing, and it just kind of fizzled out.
Not to each other, just to other people.
Trevor and I's kid is, or Trevor and me, God, I'm trying to really watch my English with Mr. Teacher over here. Our child is.
He really hasn't corrected you. He's been pretty chill about it.
I know.
I think you can just go with
I'm very self-conscious every time that he's here.
What's we're saying, me and my, or being like, me, my, God damn it, every time. It's okay. Just roll with the
No,
one.
so, and then, unfortunately, we went through the loss of Zach Bates a little short time after that. Rest in peace. Zach was a great drummer. Loved that kid. But they just released a new song, new to the public.
That's what new is. Yeah.
Well, it's not new to us because it was in the process of getting written back in 2018. But finally got it mastered through Curtis and released it yesterday. And got a message from the boys today, like, hey, you feel like coming back? So there it is. Ashes Armada is back, and got your boy playing rhythm guitar or lead guitar. I don't know. Whatever Trevor wants to do. I think Trevor is a much better lead player than I am. That boy is insane. He's a great guitarist. And that's actually who's JSX.
Get some help.
I swear to God, if we're doing...
That's the only time I do that. We're okay.
No, so when Ashes kind of fizzled out, he called me and he's like, hey, I've got JSX and that Marshall. You want it? I'm like, yeah. How much you want it for? He's like, oh, no. Just take it. I was like, what?
Are you going to fix that thing?
Yeah.
When?
I don't want to talk.
Are you going to wait for me to? Are you waiting for me to learn how to fix that too?
Trevor, your amp is kind of mushy.
Oh, we can cut that part out. Great amp, sounds great.
Yeah. So I have his shit, and I was like, hey, do you want your shit back? Oh yeah, if we play live, I'll just take it back. Cool, sounds good. I haven't used it because I'm still stuck on my 65, but it's a great amp and all that. I've gone about that. But yeah, so Ashley Armada's back.
I listened to the new song too.
It's
awesome.
fantastic.
It's,
It's such a good song.
solid. It's got like a weird kind of cool GNR intro to it.
Yeah, that like cleany, crunchy.
and walking down the D to the C.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm super excited about it. And there's a couple songs that I'm kind of we're writing. It's gonna be new shit coming this year. It's I'm really excited about it, and it's good to be working again with those guys. I've always said that one of the bands I wish would have always stuck around was Ashes, because they were, like I said, every time they were on a bill or anything like that, I was genuinely excited to play with them. And then, being in a short stint, and then it kind of ending, it's like, it's cool to, have a band revival about a band that I sincerely cared about, and to be part of that again. It is very, very cool. I'm very honored.
That doesn't happen often either.
No. Yeah, especially, like I said, with a band that I have very greatly admired from the sidelines and even being in it. And they were always kind of just like that one stick out local band. Seth's voice is very distinct. Like you hear Seth singing, and I mean, he has that very Breaking Benjamin, very ooh, like I don't know how to. I don't even.
Sounds like
you can do that again.
Ooh.
She sounds like Volby.
Volby, yeah. I mean, not that crazy about, but he has a very distinct voice. Trevor's playing is amazing. I mean, all the guys are a great group of guys. So
yep, sounds like you're excited.
Yeah, very much so.
That's awesome.
I could go on and on.
That's
about
cool.
it.
That's super cool. I can't wait.
Cool. Yeah.
So look for more Ashes Armada.
Speaking of revivals, Blacked Out World has a show. I'm kidding. It's, we got our first show of the summer.
Thank God.
For lefties, July 1st.
Yeah, it's gonna be dude. That flyer alone looks fucking great.
Yeah, I saw you guys post.
How many bands is it? 2 or 3?
3.
Three,
Three including us.
Yeah. Okay.
So
good. Yeah, that's gonna be a fun one. We might have some cool treats up the old sleeves, as the old saying goes.
Yep. It's you said it's at lefties, correct? Fuck off.
What?
I just caught that. Treats up the old sleeve.
Yeah. They're gonna roll with the waves. Yeah. I have a treat up the old sleeve for you. A trick up the old alley, if you will.
God damn it.
When in Rome. So, what
do as the Greek do?
I haven't been to lefties in forever too, so I thought it was fun to.
I like lefties.
I think the last time I was there is when I played there. I just don't get out as much as I'd like to anymore. So, otherwise, I'd go there and watch a little bit more music. It's just kind of hard to do. We're all 3 kids are in 6 sports total right now, which is really fun.
Adulting.
Yeah. Well, I don't do much of it. I do as little as I can.
You're there in spirit.
Yeah, I'm there to cheer everybody on. She's there to hold everybody together, make sure we don't kill each other.
That's what women are good at.
Yeah,
Lord knows we couldn't do it without them. That's for damn sure.
That is pretty cool.
That's why I've got Annie around. She's kind of my calendar. I go, hey, what am I doing here? I don't know.
Dude,
you got practice and you're doing podcasts, and then you have I'm like, I don't know what my life consists. Help me.
I got to get my planner out and update it for the next month now.
Oh yeah.
I got the planner with different colors.
That's right.
The awesome planner. It's so cool. It's caused so many arguments already. But
yep, like the old agenda from high school that you had to
that's exactly
track of homework and shit.
Yep.
It's like Blacked Out World.
Do they even do that? Do they do that in school anymore? Do they still do the planners? No.
Well, I mean, there were planners, but I
remember mine was like legitimately enforced. Like they were like, oh, make sure bring out your planners. Put this in right now.
Yes, but the way things are now with just being digital and a lot of schools, have their own Chromebooks or iPads or something like that. So they have Google Calendars and stuff like that, so you can see when assignments are due. Dude, or you post on Google Classroom.
I remember when we were in school, that was a big deal for laptop day. Like they wheeled in the cart with the drawers and you had to sign and now they're just like, take it. It's like, what? That's insane to me.
Yeah, I remember one of the only times I really got in trouble in school is one of those group cart laptops that took the letters or the keys off their laptop and spelled a not very nice word on the laptop and got in trouble.
Stinky
and I remember the principal was telling me that, well, you're gonna have to pay for it, and I'm like, what are you talking about? I can fix it right now. You just take the key off and put them back where they're supposed to go. I mean, he was trying to intimidate me and make me you know, oh, well, you need to face the consequences for your actions. And like, well, I agree that I probably should have done that. It was immature, but let's not like pretend that I can't fix it.
You're
here
also
in 30
immature.
seconds. Well, yeah, that's true. But one of the only times I got in trouble and got called, had a call home was.
Oh God.
I'm trying to remember. I think the only time I got in school trouble was, I had a study hall in the last period of the day, and so instead of doing homework, I would play chess with people.
Yeah, study hall at the end of the day is like the worst.
Yeah. So I would just sit there and play chess, and then the teacher got mad at me. He's like, "Dude, you're failing my class. Do your homework." He's like, "I was like, I want to play chess though." Like, so I got sent out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds like you guys were pretty big rebels.
Yeah.
I know.
My days were spent running home to erase my mom's answering machine.
I thought I was very cool playing chess in his room because he was like the cool teacher.
Yeah.
Shout out Mr. Furlong. And
yeah,
he was
thanks for watching.
There was also right.
Number one fan.
Yep. But there was an after school chess club, and he was the main guy for it. So I was like, oh hey, I'm gonna play chess in my last period of study hall with the chess teacher who's in charge of it.
Instead of the main guy, you should have said he was the king. That would have made a little bit more sense.
Shut the fuck up. God damn it. No, that was the only time I got in trouble at school. Like an actual that was my only detention I ever got. They're like, oh no, you're gonna go to the detention.
Your only detention was that you were playing chess in study hall. You fucking nerd.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know if that's a brag or I don't know.
Nope. I'll take that. That's mine.
You've been a bad boy.
Well, besides, never mind. I won't go into another one.
Yeah. I never got in trouble.
Nice.
I call bullshit.
I was always just such a quiet boy.
Very well behaved.
Yeah.
And now you're playing on stage and doing podcasts and.
Yeah, it grows on you.
It does. Yeah, that's true. I understand that.
No, I was a fucking horrible kid. Sounds really rough.
Yeah.
But you graduated high school now. Look at you.
Yep.
Yeah, look at you go.
That's all I've done. I joined the army like every good 1.8 GPA kid does.
Oh my god! Did you get the one that I sent with the bass player writing the song?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I did. I was gonna show Josh, but then I felt.
Oh, I sent it to him directly. He goes, "Yeah, I wrote a clease." I go, "Good," and I typed in like uppercase and lowercase. Good job. I didn't do that to him.
Send him like those 100 math quiz flashcard things. Now do this. 10 times 9, 3 times 4.
I wrote a song. No, that's funny. I don't know why I always have to make fun of all of our bass players.
Speaking of the whole writing song thing, remember we did that like 9-minute song down here like what was that 4 years ago, something like that. It was after BSA was done. And we're like, hey, let's come over and write music. It turned out to be 9 minutes long.
We had a chart. We're like,
we had a whiteboard.
Yeah, it was. It's the same whiteboard that's sitting, I think, back in that corner now. But now I've got painter's tape. Yeah, it was like verse fancy. 1,
times 4,
pre-chorus times 4. It's like what?
Dude, I cannot.
It's recorded somewhere still. I have it. I found a video.
I copied it and saw my Dropbox.
Jesus. Yeah, that was cool to do it. But...
It's great. I mean, it's got some good. We could riff hunt through that and just.
I still do every now and then. That was a good one. Yeah, I don't know what you would sing about for 9 minutes. Did we keep anyone's attention?
We did live drums for that too, didn't we?
I think so.
Did we make that up? I feel like we did.
I don't know.
No, I think it was just a camera in the room when we did that.
Yeah.
We didn't have any.
Yeah, I think so too.
We didn't have anything official. We literally set the phone in the middle of the room.
Oh, that's right.
Because we were like, "There's no way we're ever going to remember this," and then we didn't anyways, and
we still don't know.
Still don't know. Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome.
Did we want to tell Patrick about our D&D adventures
we've
been going through?
Are you a D&D player?
Yeah, so it was interesting talking about COVID stuff earlier. I really got into it right as COVID was happening, unfortunately.
Oh, really?
We started a campaign.
Same.
I started the character creation, went over there and had, I don't know, 2-3 sessions or whatever you want to call them. It was fun. But then, of course, then COVID happened and people stopped going over to other people's places and kind of, went in quarantine and stayed at home and stuff. So I never really did anything after that, but I was blown away with how in-depth and all this stuff you could do with it. And it was cool because I had never, really gotten into that world or but I really liked, games and tabletop games and all that stuff in general, and just I don't know, it was fun.
The sandbox element of it,
yeah.
I think you put it really well when you were talking to Josh. It's like take away an MMO, or take an MMO, or no, not MMO.
It could have been an MMO, but take any game, like take the
And then
guardrails off it.
Yep, take the UI out.
And I just kind of barely scratched the surface, but I like the idea of, rolling different die and, kind of building up your character to be a certain way and, not really knowing what was going to happen, and then kind of, riffing off your friends and kind of, it was fun.
Yeah.
But
trying
again,
to find a synergy.
We barely got started.
Yeah.
But,
because we just did our third.
I think it was the second, because we didn't do it because we had Easter and then we missed that week before.
Third.
Oh yeah, because we didn't record the first one. We recorded the second one, and we recorded the third one. Yep.
And so this is my first. It's my second one. The first one, I've told this story before. In art and basic training, they obviously can't put limitations on what your religion is.
Oh.
So on Sundays, if you didn't go to church, you were stuck doing details or something like that. And so there was these 3 guys that came up with something called Church of the Gamer. And they said, that's our religion. And so they went down in a little like break room. It was kind of like a storage area where we keep like workout equipment, shit like that. And they would do D&D. So I was like,
sick.
I didn't want to march all the way to fucking church and then come back and still get caught doing details. So I was like, fuck it, I'll join D&D campaign. And you asked what I was. I said I couldn't remember. I was a bard for that. Just because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. So I was like, I'll just pick the easiest
I'll pick a charisma class.
Yeah,
Perfect.
exactly. That's exactly it.
I thought you were going to say that you got stuck doing detail in D&D. I was like, oh, well.
The game's so fun.
But no, so this is my first legitimate, like, playthrough. And I'm having a lot of fun with it. This last playthrough that we did this past Sunday was fucking amazing.
It's getting weird.
It's getting off the rails a little bit. I love it.
Like this, it started out with a few sexual innuendos, and then we joked around that there was like some gelatinous form that came up out of a thing or something. I go, oh yeah, a cum dragon, and then that turns out that's what we ended up calling
that's what
it.
it was.
And then the turtle trying to fornicate
as he does.
Yeah.
We have a team member who is a turtle.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
And he tries to fuck everything. That's kind of his
He's also
thing.
a wild magic sorcerer.
So anytime that he does a spell, there's something random that will happen, or there's a chance that something random will happen.
Yeah, and he loves casting fireball.
Fireball,
and everything.
Yep, just kills everything in sight. So.
I'm a conquest paladin. I'm basically medieval magical Darth Vader.
But if he was absolutely just stupid as hell.
Yeah. Because when you roll those charisma and strength scores up high, you really got to take away from wisdom and intelligence. So my guy walks into a room and he's like.
I will never forget. I'll tell this to every fucking guest we have that we bring this up. So when we started, we kind of dropped down in a hole, and that's kind of where the dungeon, you want to call it, starts.
The Dungeon of the Mad Mage.
Yeah.
Like Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, we went down the rabbit hole and instantly it was just...
So it's a completely pitch black room, and he can like sense magic and shit like that. So he goes, all right, what do I know about the room? And so he does a perception check. Rolls a 20 and then rolls like a 3 or a 4, some shit like that. DM goes, do you notice that you were in a room? That's it.
That's how fucking stupid my guy is. He's just... I thought I was going to have some character depth. No, I rolled too far down on wisdom and intelligence. He's ready
stupid.
to serve the justice of the dumb gods.
I was expecting rolled a natural 20 and saw the cum dragon in the corner or something.
Yeah, no, I also did that thing where I was drinking heavily that first session.
God,
where I
that was funny.
Walked through the traps without disarming them and just left you guys all there like, good luck!
Imbibe the tavern's ale.
Yeah, dude. So he walked, he got out of the room. There was a door that led to a hallway, and there's 2 levers. He pulled one lever, got shot with the crossbow. Pulled the other lever.
As one does.
Yep. Pulled the other lever. Door open, and he goes through the hallway. Doesn't disarm the trap. Doesn't cut the wire to the crossbow. Just, hey guys, I'm in the hallway. And like you said, it's like Harry in Home Alone goes, or not Harry. Marv in Home Alone goes, Harry, I've made it to the top. That's exactly what it was.
Generally, having low intelligence and being drunk is not a good combination.
I can't roll worth a shit. But then since I'm a high charisma characters. Paladins are. They cast with their charisma. So that also means that I have to usually be involved with the conversations. Luckily, Sim's there, and he's doing a bard who also has high charisma. Because
he's so good.
He's a very seasoned player and has like interesting ways to get out of things. So sometimes he'll start talking, and he does a very good job of suggesting and informing what you should do without telling you should do it in the context of the character.
Yeah.
He's like, he'll say like, and maybe
like
if we had someone who could pick the locks, something like that, and Colton will be like, oh fuck, that's me.
That's
okay,
me.
Kind of gives you that little nudge sometimes without being a complete douche about it, And then we have Solus,
who's the turtle?
Yeah, who his fucking method to everything is what's the thing that could destroy everything the hardest?
Can it burn?
Yeah, we're looking at something. He's like, can I tell if it's flammable? It's like, dude, we're in a fucking room with each other. How about you don't?
Is he a slow-moving turtle, or does?
Apparently, he moves just as fast as the rest of us.
He moves just as fast as us.
Yeah,
nice.
He's got some speed legs on him.
agility.
Yep, he got the DLC.
I'll tell you. This is the type of character he is when he's making, and this is with anything. When we play Magic Arena, he's got weird ass stuff. He's that guy, and he wanted specifically from the DM before you showed up, before turn 0, wanted to know if he could make it canon. This picture of this turtle and it had this big long schlong on it. He's like, "Can I make this canon that this is actually on my character?" He's like, "No, because I don't, no. Let's just leave that alone." Okay.
He brings entertainment. I'll give him that.
Oh, dude,
Solus is fucking entertaining shit.
Creativity, absolutely.
And then he always talks like this.
I don't have to imagine having a long schlong.
You don't have to draw it out and hope that it's on your character sheet.
Yeah.
Whatever, dude. Whatever.
Patrick dumped all of his points into charisma, I see.
Dong hung low, whatever. That's fine.
But then, I can't remember if I told you about my character. My name is Hugh Midget.
Oh my God.
I'm a half giant, half dwarf, so I'm just a normal sized
So
guy.
you're just average.
But I have the ability to go up a size or down a size, or I can cast it to anyone else.
I was gonna say, it
Which
sounds like
doubles your damage and quadruples your armor, if I remember right. If you go up, and then the same as you go down, but
being normal with extra steps.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So
Well, because
how many?
I remembered it because there was a Bob and Tom skit where a guy was talking about some redneck circus, and it was like Bob's Circus, and so he's like, "Yep, they had everything there. The bearded man." Huge midgets, stripeless zebras, like shit like that.
Just horses.
So I was like, dude, Hugh Midget. Well, actually, Marco brought it up. He's like, dude, Hugh Midget would be an amazing character. I was like, yeah, that sounds pretty fun.
That would be.
But then, so I'm a rogue too, so I'm all sneaky and fucking.
I have to ask, did you
shit.
mean the bearded lady or the bearded man?
The bearded man?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
How many players do you guys have?
We have 4.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
So it's a decent party.
And our DM's using a new system. We're using whatever that
5.
program. On Steam, the game that we used to launch it with.
Arkspire.
No, Arkspire's death metal band that mumble raps like
Tailspire.
Tailspire. Yeah, 2 different
I heard Arkspire on the way to pick him up. And that's
That's not,
in that fucking
so we use an
buzzsaw.
actual game, and then we're on Discord, and you can roll your
Gotcha.
dice from the game.
That's what I was gonna ask.
So our DM can like edit the field around us, and then we have pawns that we can move around and shit like that.
That's what I wanted to clarify with my experience. We were getting together weekly, and we're actually going to his place.
Oh, so you had like
and
the grid
hanging out.
square
So
on a
then
table and
when
shit
we
like
stopped, it's because of that. Yeah. So I mean, we had the the DM folder up and stuff and all that. It was fun, and he was really getting into like the character painting and creation and stuff too.
Oh, so he would actually make minis and shit like that, like in
miniatures
person
and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So we were using those.
Oh yeah, don't forget to check out my mini collection on your way out from Star Wars
nice.
Legion.
That's cool.
He does all those.
So
by
you
hand,
guys
too.
just meet on Discord then.
Yep.
So it's like okay.
Yep.
I will say I liked Roll20 better than I liked Tailspire
Yeah, but they had
right
a
now.
giant data leak, so I was like,
A what?
They had a huge data leak.
Oh.
Did you not hear about that?
No.
Yeah, the Roll20 servers got like absolutely hacked.
Oh wow.
So anyone with a file on there.
Whoops.
Yep, dark web, hello.
Yeah, they must have rolled poorly.
Rolled a 2 on stealth.
Shit.
Yeah, but I liked it better just because it was 2D and it was kind of simpler to set up. You would load your map, you'd have a grid, and it would be, for what we do, especially with RDM, it'd be a little bit easier for him to kind of do it on the fly.
Yeah.
Tailspire's good is for a guy like, Solus again, if he were to run another campaign like he did back, we had one where last
Solus ran
sessions.
one?
For a few sessions, and then it was just, it didn't work out. At times it didn't work out, but...
So you've been in multiple campaigns. Then.
Yeah. if he had something like Tailspire, he has that where he'll just obsess over it for like 3 weeks straight and build an
And
entire
then you have a fully fleshed out
world. Yeah. As opposed to kind of, okay, we're going to go into this next room. I'm designing this. I don't have the lighting right, so you can kind of see over here, even though we don't.
I kind of like the way we're doing it now because you kind of know when the game's going to end. It's like, hey, this part of the map isn't built out. You haven't unlocked this part of the map yet.
Unless there's a portal that you randomly walk through and then fight 3 versions of yourself.
Dude, that was so cool.
Yeah.
So we walked through a portal into a dead-end cavern. There's a giant door, but we couldn't open it. Or no. Then we opened the door, and we came back to the room we were in, and we ran into ourselves from 15 minutes ago. So then we had to have a battle against ourselves. It was fucking sick, dude. It was really fun.
How long do typical campaigns last? And do you know, like, do you have an end date?
It can go as long as you want,
or you just end
You
randomly.
can keep going as long. There is an end goal, but there's no limit to getting to that end goal.
Not necessarily true. A lot of the campaigns are structured to be a certain level, and they have a definite end for a campaign. And now, if you decide that you guys are going to keep playing another campaign together and bring these characters to the next one, but like Dungeon of the Mad Mage, for instance,
has a set story and
it's a big one. Because that particular dungeon can keep going like for pretty very long time.
It's linear, but you can expand it.
It's a 5 to 20 level 5 to 20 campaign. Okay. Now there are campaigns where you're going to start at 1 to 5 or like 5 to 10. Yeah, if you're getting to a level 20 campaign, and you have to know that ahead of time when you're building your character because, like for instance, the Conquest Paladin, your capstone ability, whatever it is at level 20, if you start multi-classing, you're never going to get to it. But if you're not going to go to level 20 anyways, you might as well multi-class because you're not going to get that capstone.
So you have to kind of plan out.
Yeah, based on your campaign, you got to decide
where your branches as you're going or going to.
Like the Conquest Paladin's capstone is just absolutely turns into fucking
annihilation.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not going to multi-class into like a sorcerer I would if it was level 15.
That paladin.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that
he
goes
basically
level
becomes
20.
Darth Vader from the Rogue One scene at that point.
Yeah,
is what he does.
Jesus, dude.
Nice.
Because, I guess I need to look more into Rogue on what my branches.
I just keep throwing those daggers every time. It's fine.
I'm having fun with it.
Go throw my dagger.
What else am I gonna do?
Right.
Hit him with a crossbow. What am I gonna do? Dodge?
Do your daggers increase in size when you
yes.
increase in size?
Yep.
Oh.
So if I increase in size, everything about me gets scaled up also. So damage gets doubled, and I think armor goes up 4 times or something like that.
Maybe 4 points.
I'd have to relook.
You wouldn't have an AC of like 37.
Can you imagine?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
All right, fine.
My part where I fought my guy. Have you guys ever watched the series Norsemen on Netflix?
No.
Okay. Monty Python fans at all?
Yes,
Yeah.
Okay.
absolutely.
Oh, you need to absolutely watch Norsemen. You need to put it in your phone and save it.
Is it a comedy?
It's a comedy. It's a dry kind of comedy, but it's about Vikings.
I love that.
Oh, God.
Like the very opening scene, there's a bunch of old dudes standing around, and like they're for whatever ritual they have to jump off the cliff, and they're all talking to each other, and they got a slave. They're like, what if we just down and we just leave and you never see us again? And you end up finding them later on in the series, or just like But in one of the scenes, this guy was gonna duel another guy because he wanted to take his wife, and like the entire episode is them prepping for it. One dude's a fucking warrior, and this other guy's just like this sniveling. He's trying to figure out how he's gonna defend
like strategically do it.
Yeah, against this dude who challenged him, and he goes into the forest and he gets like poison for his blade and everything, and it's whole thing. And they line up, and as soon as they sound the horn, the dude just fucking chops him in half. Just right there, just puts him right in half after building it up for this whole episode.
Jesus
and
Christ.
that's what my guy did to his counterpart in that last session. I just rolled twice and I smited. I'm like, wow.
I killed 2.
Yeah.
I killed 3.
Yeah.
Dude,
yep.
My little psychic knife's doing pretty good.
I just took that paladin and split him right in half and yelled there can only be one.
What was my last roll for that attack was like 36 attack or something.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure it was 17.
I rolled a nat 20.
I think you rolled a 17. Everybody just probably rolled. Remember everyone was rolling 17 that night?
Well, no, only the DM was.
Oh, yeah, he's just like 17.
Because everything he was rolling was 17.
It was so bizarre.
No, that very last attack, I hit like 35 or something like
Yeah.
that. Because I rolled a nat 20, and then I did steady aim, and then a whole bunch of other shit. Like I was killing this guy with everything I had.
Yeah, and we're gonna hit another. By the time this comes out, it will have already happened, and we'll probably the live stream will have happened, and I'll probably release on
streams are Sunday on
Yep.
Twitch.tv.
And then I usually put the the episode actually out, which is just a straight port, so you get to hear all the funny stuff.
Yeah.
Put that out on Wednesday and then roll from there. So you'll probably get to watch that if you don't watch it live. See it on Wednesdays. We figure out what to do after we fight the Cum Dragon and the mirrored dark evil versions of ourselves. I might, after D&D, start either just pausing it and then turning it back on for the stream, and I might go to either squad or do some arena too.
Oh, and just do some solo stuff on top.
So if you're interested in,
I'm by then it's 9 o'clock. I need to get to bed.
Yeah,
because I
you
wake
gotta
up at
get up
2:30 in the morning to
All
go
right.
drive to Nebraska.
All right. Yeah, that happens. Is that where you're going this week?
No, I don't know where I'm going yet. I don't get that info until Sunday afternoon.
But yeah, no,
I know. I have. Well, actually, I have Monday off, so I could.
Yeah,
You need to roll for perception.
Yeah.
I've actually got, and I'll show you when we're done here, because when we were playing the last game, when Sim was DMing. Sim DM'd for a while. He did a great job, but no, he let us have our webcams pointed down at our desk and let us roll our own dice, which is
That's
super cool.
kind of cool.
Yeah, and I went and got these I got like so many cool dice. I know it's hard to believe, and it's got
that you went all out on something.
and it's got like a thing where I can clip it to a pistol belt.
Cool. That's really cool.
Have like a pouch bag hanging.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah,
okay.
It's a pouch. Yeah, it's like a dump pouch for a pistol belt.
I would just get like a Crown Royal bag with the string missing and find a way to.
Yeah,
put it.
I'll show it. It's super awesome.
That's pretty cool.
But yeah, no, I mean, dude, I think that kind of wraps everything up.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing
you
conversation.
You got anything that you kind of want to throw out?
No, not really.
You're still doing that.
Your
Twitch thing?
OnlyFans?
Yeah, please. Your feet. Your feet channel.
You know, I was gonna wear sandals today, so thankfully it was cold and I put socks and shoes on.
We'll save that for the page.
Yeah, I know. No, I don't really have any shout outs. Going through kind of a tough time lately, so I appreciate all my friends and family and stuff that are there to support me. And don't really stream anymore. Don't really play in a band anymore. Just kind of working, hanging out.
Yeah,
but you know, playing video games, having fun. So
yeah. You'll have to add me on Discord. Then when we don't play games that we play with each other anyways, I can at least bother you.
Yeah, totally. Patrick.
Now you can hop into what my life feels like.
Well, that's good to know about the stream.
He's probably up before noon.
I would like to watch.
For sure, dude.
It's
awesome. Sundays at 6.
Cool.
Twitch.tv/guitar
Geeks Guitars Guns.
That.
Yeah, Geeks Guitars Guns.
I guess the only shout out I have, if you search my name or Renato something on TikTok, I do Smash videos.
Renato BSA is
other videos like that.
Why don't you send the links to Colton and we'll put them up?
Yeah, I'll throw them up in the description. Yep.
That way people can see more. We don't have to. Yeah. Oh yeah, it would be down there. Mm-hmm. That's how that works.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us on Casting Couch.
Bye, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Bye, guys. Tell your mom I say hi.
Bye. How are you?